Alright, so from 3.5 catching up, yeah, definitely more resistance, more weight helps a lot than and doing like inch by inch, so slow movements with a lot of weight, usually using my own arm or like a blanket or some sort of band, or even body weight is really good. Going very slowly. I don't know, it just feels good afterwards. You feel a lot less pain afterwards, and you feel much stronger. And then the day after, you feel a lot stronger, and you are a lot stronger. So that's great. A Sting Dream model. There is a pleasure heal, the same thing you're doing for the gut, now doing for arms. Like if your arm hurts, we peed twice, and that's probably due to stopping the cyanobacteria and macroalgae. We slept 11 and a half hours, which is okay. It's definitely under 13, so better in a lot of ways for each of the above. Yeah, so there's like this tight kind of squeeze that you do with your hands and feet, and it helps a lot in terms of interestingly stimulating taste and smell, and stimulating taste and smell helps the grip. There's some relation there. Huberman talked about it too, that it activates some parts of the brain that, I don't know, has to do with movement dopamine, which we know has to do with taste. So that's fantastic. And how much increased neural drive? So if you do everything, you grip hands, feet, and then your jaw, like clench your jaw and have taste and smell, it could go up to this 170% increase from baseline rest, like if you're doing nothing. For, I believe it was motor neuron potential, which means pretty much how primed, especially your CNS is, for action. And then usually anywhere from 15 to 25%, depending on what you're measuring, like toe flexor strength, acceleration, like rate of force. Those typically 15 to 25% for just adding one of the grips. If you add them all, you're probably looking at around 60, maybe 80, 90%. But they seem to be synergistic because you get more of an increase, which makes sense. A lot of things are synergistic when it comes to physiology, so that's that. This has to do with taste. This is translated to taste. Right, and around plants, especially outside in nature, it seems to be easier to do, and you get more of it, more of the effect. Is it EMDR on foods to lessen reactivity also? Yeah, so there are certain topics with individuals that you cannot discuss. It's for the better, because if you do discuss and they're not open to it at that moment, or just ever, depending on the individual, it just almost always triggers some sort of psychological effect or neural pathway that leads there to be a fight, maybe shouting, maybe just hostility, maybe just recluse, like going away, like lonely, for instance. And those, it's good to identify them, know the people you're with, know what they like, don't like, and kind of tailor it to that. Because you can be super charismatic, but if you venture into a place that is not okay for them, things go downhill pretty fast. Also, if you future project, so that's kind of always looking into the future, you can say, okay, look, we know where this is going to end up. Do we want to do it? No. And then that's the end of it. If you don't future project, something that's kind of hard. You get caught up in the moment, emotions, but if you future project, you can get out of it pretty quickly. Jaw grip. Yeah, we said that. So, kind of like in Jujutsu Kaisen, when you are feeling the emotion of anger, you definitely don't want to ignore it. But if you go into it, if you feel it, it helps a lot, actually. If you feel the emotion. It doesn't mean you have to act on the emotion or express the emotion, but you feel it. It's like you hold on to it and you really squeeze, would be the easiest way to say it. And that feels so good. Even if it's like not a good emotion, it still feels way better than doing anything else. With Seaweed, you may get delays. There's a lot of main coast sea vegetables. They have like a week out. Some they say like, we're gonna get it tomorrow, and they don't. It's like a 2-day delay. So I would always order at least 2 days in advance, and more depending on the Amazon timelines, but just like add a day or two to that, at least 1 day. This is the Lenovo LOQ 15. We're having a driver error. It happened after a battery. We unplugged, battery fell to 55%, then to like 0%. And ever since that time, I think it was on Monday, we had like 3 driver crash errors in about 36 hours, and then 1 every day, pretty much. And so to do that, the plan is pretty much, so far we're good. And what we did was, yes, we reinstalled. So we did DDU to clean out the NVIDIA driver and the Intel. We reinstalled the Intel and then the NVIDIA. And to do that, to simplify, you'd go to Lenovo support, recognize your model. It automatically gives you the drivers. You manually download the Intel and NVIDIA graphics drivers, and then you use DDU, which you can download, and we'll jump to those websites, but you can download from Wagnersoft. And if you install, so unzip and then run, you want to run DDU once you are in safe mode. So you reboot into safe mode, you run DDU, you uninstall those, you reinstall the new ones you just downloaded from Lenovo, and then all of that is when you don't have any internet. That's important. And let's see, is there anything else? And people like to power off instead of restarting. In those, when I say reboot, power off, wait 30 seconds, restart, or reboot. And then you don't run MSI Afterburner. All that was good, and I did that. I need to say that because it still didn't work. But all we changed after that was this Wispr Flow. There's actually a way in Wispr Flow here to go into the settings, and then you would hit reset. I think it's settings system, and then you hit reset, and it literally clears it does something to make Wispr Flow super fast, and it says don't do it unless you need to. If Wispr Flow is slow, all I've noticed was when Wispr Flow got slow enough, it would crash. Like, and by slow I mean like if I do like I start, for instance, click the key and say hello, it would catch hello immediately, and then I'd click the key and say hello, it wouldn't catch it, and it would only make that like, oh, I'm listening now, like 2 seconds later. That's when it usually is around the crashing point. But this reset is great because now, no matter what I do, it's like instant, back to instant. So it hasn't crashed since, so that's fantastic. I'm even running OBS right now and recording, hasn't crashed. It's great. This is that. Chi. I don't think Chi brings good luck. I think being in the present moment, really tuned into and deeply within reality, brings good luck. I think Chi can do like things like heal or maybe work with energies, like reshuffle energies and stuff. But I don't think in and of itself it brings good luck overall, in my experience. Yeah. But employment on reality gets you way deeper. Yes, so if you're, and again, on that reality, you want to enjoy it. So like, for instance, I'm talking to a camera, I'm going to enjoy that camera. I'm going to be like, oh my god, this is the most beautiful circle within a circle. It's got a dot, it's got a light next to it. Like you want to enjoy, you want to get excited about it. If you press, you focus on it, that's okay, but it's nowhere near as much as enjoying it. So, what else? Let's see. So this time, interestingly enough, even after the fight and not feeling great at all, we slept way less. We did have to go to the restroom right when we woke up. Not sure if that has to do anything with it, but we went through a whole day's worth of work without sleeping, which is crazy for 9.5 hours. That's like probably the first time in a long time that's happened. Could be the seaweed. We need more sample size, but that's fantastic. Yeah, so if you stay in it, whether it's like reality, this cardiovascular exercise, pleasure to heal MDO, something changes. So there's like a threshold almost where it's like, this feels good, but it's not there yet. And then once you pass that threshold, it's almost like you've entered this like, it's like a different almost world or area or effect, which is fantastic. So like in cardiovascular exercise, there reaches a moment where you're like, wow, this is, especially for the gut, like it builds up and then it's almost like you're on the other side of a hill, and it's beautiful there. Do Nori open at night, not during the day? We are meal prepping and we do that at night now, just to have everything ready for next time, next day. Yeah, this is interesting. So when you're on a fast, you seem, yes, a little bit more hyperactive, but it's not necessarily you're stronger. So just being careful with that versus being like very well fed and then going and doing something crazy. Yeah, those can be done at the same time, although that's hard, but it's possible because we did it. Stay down. That is sometimes, just in general, you have to not pretend, but sometimes it's like you don't want to say everything or show your cards, because if you do, you don't have the effect that everybody wants in the room that you need to have for them, and you also don't help yourself. It's like you're helping nobody. You think you're being honest or transparent, but you're really not. And this isn't like hiding anything. This is like just maybe TMI is a good way to put it. But when you're like trying to perform well or something like that, if you just go too much too fast, I think there's something there where you have to build in like a buffer, almost like a 10-20% buffer, where you're like, okay, let's slow it down. It helps you, it helps everyone else. It's more gradual. So that is. Time seems, yeah, this happened today. Again, maybe the seaweed, not sure why, but everything seems to be going super slowly, which is good. Like, things are not rushing, and we have tons of time since we only slept 9.5 hours, so a lot of work got done today. This is what we talked about. Summary. So Tesla, this is just moving food up, and then for Tesla is the biggest for residential and commercial batteries, which have 1 million globally is not a lot at all. But if you have a Tesla battery, congratulations, you're like in the 0.01% or something like that, 0.001% or something. And it's tripled, and you can get a commercial install in a home if your home is enormous, and you get approved. So you have to have a lot of money. Summary for fermenting seaweed is pretty much 50% seaweed and then 50% sauerkraut, being the lactose starter culture, with at least 72 hours at 2 to 2.5%, and using red macroalgae or green because of iodine tends to be antiseptic, so brown has a ton of iodine. Maybe though, because they have fermented successfully brown algae. Yep, that's all. And then we're gonna go here and we're gonna see if there's anything in here that is helpful. I don't think that there's nothing that you haven't already covered. Yes, so this is the Wagner soft, and some of these are super important. turn off this hello sign in. That's super important. Also, you have to know your password. I didn't, so I played around with signing in to Microsoft and actually got it. And then BitLocker, again, you can find it on the Microsoft website. They have a great tutorial. It's like right there, the key. All of that you have to have ready to go before you go in with DDU. And then these are the actual official sites for MemTest at 86 and Crystal Info. That is not the official site. That is SourceForge. Okay, and then this is the MSI after the official site. That is not one. There's another one. But anyways, I just wanted to point out the official sites we had. And that's what the rod. Okay. And then